Good afternoon, fifth grade. So Miss Kotraba and I sent everything in one email, and you should have received it from her yesterday. And we sent two PDFs, one for her class and then one for mine. This is what it looks like. At the top, it talks about our spelling and vocabulary. We're going to work on the same words for the next 2 weeks, and they go along with the novel study that they're doing with Miss Kotraba. And we'll have activities on either spellingcity.com, or they will have written activities like we would in class each day. Here are also some notes that should be added to their social studies notebook for this week. And I don't care if you guys want to just print them out or if you want to have your student copy for extra practice. Either way is fine with me. Today we read about trouble in Southeast Asia and we answered the questions. And then for number 2 right here, it says rainbow spelling words. So all they should do is just write those words one time in one color and then trace over them with 2 more colors to make our rainbow words. So for those who weren't able to make it to class or came in late or just want to review, I'm going to read over what we read in class today and go over the correct answers. Don't forget that we have an ecosystems test on Thursday, and we will be allowed to use our notebooks for that. All right, trouble in Southeast Asia. Since the late 1800s, much of Vietnam, a country in Southeast Asia, had been a colony of France. During World War II, communist fighters under the leadership of Ho Chi Minh began to resist the French. When Ho Chi Minh declared Vietnam's independence in 1945, the conflict became more violent. In 1954, the French suffered a bad defeat at the hands of the communists. The French did not want to fight any longer, but if they withdrew, who would stop the communist forces? An international conference was held in Geneva, Switzerland, to try to solve the problem. The Geneva Accords, or the agreements made at the conference, stated that Vietnam should become independent. Elections were to be held in 2 years, but the country would split into 2 parts, North Vietnam and South Vietnam until that time. All the Vietnam soldiers, the communists fighting with Ho Chi Minh, were to go north. And all the Vietnamese soldiers who had fought for the French were to go south. Civilians were also allowed to move, and hundreds of thousands of Vietnamese fled to the south to escape the communists. With the support of the Soviet Union and Red China, North Vietnamese leader Ho Chi Minh began fighting to unite all of Vietnam under one communist government. The South Vietnamese did not want communism. They resisted the communists, and a long war began. The United States was dedicated to stopping the spread of communism. President Eisenhower and Kennedy sent money and weapons to the government of South Vietnam. American soldiers were sent to help train the South Vietnamese army. In spite of this aid, the communists were winning the war. Lyndon Johnson, who became president after Kennedy's assassination in 1963, was determined not to allow the communist forces to win. "I'm not going to lose Vietnam," he said. In 1964, Johnson sent more American soldiers to Vietnam. Over the next few years, the American involvement in Vietnam quickly grew. Now, we answered these questions all together in class, but I will go over the answers for those of you who weren't able to meet with us. The first question says, who was the first target of Ho Chi Minh and his communist fighters? And the correct answer would be the French, who controlled Vietnam as a colony. Second question, what was Ho Chi Minh's goal following the departure of the French and division of Vietnam into 2 parts? And the answer was he wanted to unite the entire country under one communist government. And then number 3, why do you think that President Lyndon Johnson was against having Vietnam united under a communist government? And we said he did not want to see communism spread to free countries. And our last question, what caused the United States to send money and aid to South Vietnam? And we said the United States did not want to lose Vietnam to communism, which they feared would happen if they did not aid the South against the North. All right, I think that that's everything. I'm just looking through my papers very quickly. Yep, that seems to be everything for today. Just please remind your students to continue logging on to spellingcity.com, especially if they have not turned in all of their assignments from the last 2 weeks. Obviously, we have 2 more weeks to continue with the words that go along with their novel, and like the beginning word is grimace. That would have been their first word in case you're looking for it on the list. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, please contact me and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Turning in assignments, just shoot me a picture and either send it through email or you can send it on messages in Dojo. That's completely fine. And Ms. Contrabo was super awesome and added a checklist for our students for each of our subjects so they could keep up with the work that needed to be turned in this week. So we're going to try and continue doing it this way. We hope that it's easier to navigate. Again, thank you all for being so patient and working with us. We really do appreciate it. Have a great afternoon. Enjoy your Monday. I'll see everyone tomorrow. Bye.